Hey, it's Dr. Linda Davis, and today I want to run through an exercise we did in CIS240. We had the Microsoft Corporation annual revenue versus net income table up, and we also completed the revenue graph, kind of preparing it for PowerPoint, so that's why it's so big and bold. And now we want to launch into another sheet down here. And let me double click on that, and let's call this sheet Microsoft net income graph, because that's what I want to do next. I want to show you how to create that net income graph. Now this is a totally blank worksheet right now, but I'm going to have to go back to the Microsoft table sheet where the Microsoft table resides, and I want to show you how to select the correct data for the net income graph. So on the table, we're going to select the year and all the years, and then the trick is to hold control down on your keyboard, CTRL button, and then take your mouse and highlight or select the net income values and leave the revenue values out of this. We do not need them. Now at this point we can just say insert like we usually do, go to our charts ribbon, select the scatter plot here, just the dots with no connectors, and that will give us our net income graph, the initial one anyway. And I can, at this point, I can just copy the graph. I can do right click and copy, or I can do Control C on the keyboard now that I've selected it. There's the Control C. Then I'll jump over to the Microsoft net income graph sheet that I have already created, and I'm going to do a couple things. I'm just going to go into cell B3. I just kind of like to have my items land there. I am going to blow up the view a bit just so that you and I both can see it a little better. 200% might be a little big, but let's just see what happens. Maybe 150. Let me change that. Let me go back to zoom and just customize that a little bit and change it down to 150. Yeah, that's better. Now I'm going to paste. I'm just going to do Control V as in Victor, Control V to paste that in there. Now I've got to do a lot to this before it's going to be ready. But at this point, I've got just the basic graph that Excel gave me. So let me take out the net income part title, because I'm going to add that back in when it's in PowerPoint. And then I'm going to go in and revise some things here. Let me go to Home. And let me just make the overall graph larger. So I'm just going to use my increase font size here up to about 14 or so is usually pretty good. And I can make it bold if I want to, which means my axis values will get bold. Remember, we've been using green and blue for Microsoft, so I can also change that. I can change those values on the axes to be, in this case, a bold green, a bright green. And then some other things to format. Again, remember, you've got to click on any of your grid lines here and just hit delete on your keyboard. And again, on the horizontals, get those out of there. And then I may just want to make this a little bit wider, because with everything with PowerPoint is bigger and bolder than if you were to just leave it in Excel. Now, if you may notice, we've got some formatting to do on the years. I don't need every half year showing up, so I'm going to double click on my years section, and look what happens on the right side. I want to go into my column graph here, axis options. I want to go down to my minimum and maximum. I want to adjust that. I want to adjust the major unit for sure, because that's at 0.5, and that's why I'm getting every single year, or every 6 months, and I don't want that. So to get it to be just every year showing, just change it to a 1 for the major unit, and that will correct that problem. On the bounds, since I'm here, and we've already done that for the revenue graph, so it should be just more of the same for you. Remember, I'm forecasting forward 2 years beyond the last data point in 2025. So I'm going to change that maximum out and make it to 2028, just because I like to have a little extra space beyond the 2027 I'm forecasting to. And I also need tick marks, so let me see if I can just scroll down and find tick marks. and change it to a major type of inside is kind of what I like. And later on I'll go in and make them bigger and bolder when I work with the axis part. Okay, so that's there. Now on the y-axis, the vertical axis, I've got 0.00 every single time. I don't need that. Just double click on that and we'll change it back just to whole numbers, which means on my axis options I need to go all the way down to number, expand that so you can see that it's currency, yes, but the decimal places I want to change to 0, so it will get rid of the .00, and the symbol should be current American dollars. Alright, so we did that. That takes care of that. I also want to add the tick marks here too. Let me go back in and do that. Let me select the column graph symbol, go to tick marks, major type again. I like the inside ones the best, and we'll go with that. Now the bounds on the y-axis, it goes up to 120. Remember, that's going to be in billions. I'm running out of room, especially if I'm forecasting, so I'd probably need to boost it up to at least like maybe 150. Just try it and see. So we'll go up to the column graph symbol again, go to axis options, and make the maximum 150. You can always change it if we need more. And because you really kind of like your data points to set more in the middle. I mean, you have to look at if you think it's going to trend upwards or downwards based on what your table said. And then also look at your lower amounts here. You really don't have anything going on between 0 and 30 billion, so I could kind of I could set that down some more apps to where I don't think it's going to go pivot down anyway. So I can go in and change that to the for the minimum. I could change it. I certainly don't want it on -10. Let me change it like to 30, and I think that would better represent the data as well as the forecast. And also, you may not want these skipping every 20 billion here. You might want to change that. So let's go back in to axis options, and that's major unit. Okay, so maybe you want it every 10. Let's look at that and see. Notice it changes that for us. The tick marks are there. A little cluttered, I admit, but kind of helps though when it comes time to figure out what the forecast is for 2027. And I also want to get rid of this background white that's here. And let me just go in there, fill. I want no fill. I want no line for the border. And I think that took care of it. I also need to add some axis titles here. We don't have anything, so our audience needs to know what we're looking at. For the axis titles, I'm going to go to chart design. When you click on your graph, you should get these 2 extra menu items. Add chart element, and then be axis titles. Pretty self-explanatory there. And go to primary vertical. It just gives you a nice little text box, and you can type it up here. This is going to be net income, and it's going to be the little asterisk and then in billions. There we go. And if you want that in blue instead, just to give it some flair, that's fine. Just change your text color to that bright blue. Down here we have years, obviously, so if you want to change that, put years in there, that's fine. That would be the primary horizontal. And I can just type it up here or down below, either way. I'll just put in years. And I want to work with the axes lines. They're very faint, so let me just click into that. And let me go to the fill color button here, or the paint bucket. And we want that to no fill, but we want the line to be a solid line, and we want it to be something besides gray. So I think I was doing bright blue for that, and then under width, you want to blow that axis line up so you can see it getting thicker as I click upward. Sometimes I try to bring it up to 4.5 or 4.25, I should say. It's a little thick. I may lower that down a little bit, somewhere along in there. Same thing for your x-axis values. And again, solid line. We want them to be blue, bright blue, because I'm going to put this on a dark background. And I'm going to blow that width up to 4. I think is what I did on the other one. Usually you keep them the same. Also the data points. The data points are dark blue, I believe, or black. And we want to enhance those a bit. It doesn't matter which one you pick. Just pick one. It picks them all. Now remember, Microsoft calls them markers. They do not call them data points. So we want to go to marker, and you have to so click on marker, expand out marker options. And if you don't want circles, you can change the type to something else. Like I could pick a diamond shape, and I can also blow the size up to just see what looks big and in scale still. That's a little big. Let me tone it down just a little bit. Somewhere around in there. And I don't like the color either, so let me click on all of them again. And let me go back to marker. And the color, not the fill color of the markers is what I should be on. So make sure you're on the right thing. Marker options, built-in, yeah. Okay, so I'll say solid fill. It went to white, but let me change it to, I think I was doing light blue on these too. Okay, there we go. All right, so, and I think that's, and if you want your marker to have a specific border, you can go to, and this is the border for the marker itself, solid line. I can change that. If I wanted to change it to bright green, it would just outline the data point in bright green. You might be able to see that now on this. Everything else is in place except we have yet to do the forecast part, which is the important part of this. We're forecasting upwards to 2027. It's maybe not as linear a function as the revenue graph, but probably close enough. We'll run an r-squared, get an r-squared value to see what Excel says about that. Now I can just right click on any data point to add my trend line. There's add trend line on that small menu that pops up. And I'm going to keep it linear. And I'm going to forecast forward 2 years. So I'm going to put a 2 there since that is our unit of measurement for the x-axis. And I'm going to say display r-squared value on chart. Remember what I said in class, the closer it is to 1, the more linear the data points are. So 0.92 is pretty linear. Like I said, not as linear as your revenue graph, but it's still worthy of predictions, so we'll leave it. Now 2027, if we had to guess, we go, it's the best guess scenario anyway. Once we go up from the tick mark and we strike the end of this trend line for 2027, look where your amount lands at as far as the y-axis is concerned. And if you want me to move that, I can just grab that and move that up there a little bit. Now, running my mouse over here, I can kind of see I'm around, or I should say around pretty close to 120 billion. So I can say that, you know, I can, if I wanted to include a text box here, I could say insert text and then text box. And just with your mouse, draw a little text box here. And you can say, you know, in 2027, net income is forecasted to be, I would always say approximately, in this case, what we'd say 120 billion. Now, my text box is not quite big enough to handle the entire thing, so I can either stretch it out this way or stretch it down this way. Now normally I'm leaving it here right now in Excel, but actually when I take this graph to PowerPoint, I will actually delete that text box out first, as well as the r-squared value, because I'll reapply them in PowerPoint so that I can animate them. Now let me go in here, and if I wanted to just make things prettier, basically format them a little bit, I can make that text box bold and blow them up since I have it selected. And you might see that this goes away, but that just means your text box isn't big enough to show everything. So let me pull down and you always want to make sure nothing gets cut off. If you don't like the border on that, see if I can right click and give me the ability to format that or make that border go away. Let's see. I want to make sure it's selecting the right thing here. I don't want, if I want no line, hopefully that's the border it only affects. Okay, yeah, it took the border away. All right, so that does a lot toward getting it ready for PowerPoint. So I hope you realized what all was going on, with this graph, because it was not just, doing the linear regression analysis, which that's the synonymous with doing a projection or a forecast, and but also a lot of formatting as well to get it ready for PowerPoint. Thank you for your time.